What's up, hackers? Welcome to Chill Code. My name is Taggart, and with me tonight, a very special guest, Ductape and Dream. Say hi, Ductape.
Hello.
His video should be working now. Fantastic. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is public key infrastructure. And if you're not familiar with what PKI is, that's what we're here to learn about. Everything about how to do proper signing of certificates, management of keys, basically good hygiene, good cryptographic hygiene inside of a Windows environment. It's really easy to get wrong, but it's also, with the right guidance, very easy to get right. Celestial Ether, good to see you. So, Ductape, why don't you get us started? What's PKI all about? What are we trying to do here?
Sure. So I hope you like math. I'm gonna start that off. This is all math. Second, PKI is basically how computers can authenticate with each other without the need of username and passwords. They use a mathematical formula. You either have I can never say this one properly, elliptic curve cryptography, ECC, or you have RSA, which stands for three names of people who developed it. I always forget their name, so I'm not going to try to go through that acronym. But what it is asymmetric cryptography, where you have a public key that says, this is who I am, that everyone checks against, and you have a private key that you keep private to verify the other half of your key. So to put it in layman's terms, it's you get your driver's license from the state of California, and the private part is the state kind of holds on to how they make those licenses, but the public part is the one you can show everyone that says, yep, this is me, this is who I am, everyone can trust me because the state of California created this kind of for me. That's sort of PKI in a brief nutshell. Exactly.
And there are different diagrams that kind of explain this. This is a pretty common one, and this is for encryption decryption. So basically, if I want to send somebody something that is encrypted, I require their public key to do so. Right, their public key can be shared across the land, and in fact should be, right? Because the public key is what we use to create the encryption, right? Then once that's done, it can be decrypted with their private key, right? Because they are mathematically related. That is encryption. There's a different use of the same keys for signing, meaning verifying the authenticity of files. We use those a little bit differently. By the way, real quick, if you're preparing for the Security Plus or CISSP exams, this stuff is definitely something that you want to have clear, because those concepts are going to be core parts of those exams.
Perfect. Yeah, that was a great explanation. So one of the fun facts actually is the encryption that you see here and the signing is exactly the same, just with the keys reversed. Mm-hmm. So mathematically, it's no different.
And though I I may expose my English majoriness here, the mathematical relationship between the two is based on relationships of prime numbers. Is that correct?
Yes and no. It's more actually based on factorization. So you could technically do it without prime numbers, as long as every number you do shares a factor with each other. If you don't use prime numbers, though, that means there's more than one right answer and more than one way to decrypt your message. Mm-hmm. So we use prime numbers on the sole fact of there is no further factors of them, right? It's just one in the prime number. So there should be theoretically only one answer to decrypt and encrypt things.
And that's for RSA, right? But ECC works a little bit differently, as I understand it.
Yes and no. The algorithms to encrypt and decrypt are the same. It's how you generate the key, which is different.
Okay, interesting.
Yes. So the algorithm for encrypting something is a very simple sort of like XOR operation, right? Where you're just XORing bits together.
Okay.
The difference is how ECC generates the key on its elliptical curve is different than RSA trying to grab two random prime numbers. So the prime factorization is only for RSA. ECC uses a different kind of number method, I guess, to plot the point on an elliptical curve.
Awesome. So, all right. So before we become NSA analysts and we're ready to decrypt that the rest of that puzzle in front of the Virginia headquarters, what contextualize this for us? How does this kind of asymmetric cryptography get used in a Windows domain?
Sure. So the first thing is asymmetric cryptography can't encrypt large amounts of information.
Okay.
It's just not feasible because of how many different or how often you'd have to repeat the key and stuff like that. And with padding issues, you would very easily be able to use statistical analysis to get the key. So what we use it for is authentication. Small, short messages of basically, this is who I am, and I've digitally signed it to prove that it is who I am. Or I encrypt an AES key or something like that to then go use that AES key to encrypt much larger amounts of information.
Okay.
So in a Windows domain, that's the two ways it's used. It's either authentication or to unlock or lock a bigger key.
Got you. Can you give us an example of a regular Windows transaction that might use this kind of encryption?
Sure. So one of the biggest ones actually in like the DoD or some state government stuff is using smart cards for authentication. And what that is basically having a certificate or a private key on a hardware token, putting it in your system and having your public key logged in Active Directory. So that way, when I go to log in, instead of typing, my name is Ductape and Dreams, my password is secure password 5, I put my hardware token in, I type a 6 to 8 digit PIN, and that's what authenticates me into an Active Directory.
Got it. Now, smart card is one of those terms that really threw me when I was starting to learn this stuff, because I was familiar with the concept of prox cards, of course. But as we started discussing actually a few years ago, physical fobs like YubiKeys can also be used in a smart card methodology. Is that right?
Yes. So what you're talking about is actually the NIST PIV 201 certification.
Okay.
I am very well versed in that certification. But any form factor does not matter to follow that. What matters is how the certificates are stored on the hardware.
Okay. So I just wanted to thank you for that. I wanted to clarify that because, like, now that especially YubiKeys are a little bit more well known and Titan keys, things like that, those of you who are prepping for some of these exams might think when you see smart card in the sections about cryptography, you might think just the prox cards that you're normally looking at. But it turns out other form factors may apply to that same technology.
Correct. So if you read this actual thing for Sec Plus, they've taken away the smart card section and they've now tried to replace it with hardware token. It's not ubiquitous, but that's the new terminology they're trying to stick to, is hardware-based token.
All right, cool. So our mission tonight is to set this up the right way inside of an ad hoc Windows domain. So what we have going on, we have Starbase, our trusty lab, up and running, and we have 4... Nope, I can't count. We have 5 machines that we're going to be using for this. So we have our domain controller, which is just out of the box with a domain and a DNS server. Nothing fancy. That's just all it has. We have 3 other servers, which are completely mint. Nothing has been installed on them. We're going to be setting that up together. And then we have a workstation that we'll be using as kind of our client for all of this. So, Ductape, the floor is yours. How do we set up a public key infrastructure in this environment?
Sure. So the first thing we have to do is set up a certificate. If you can please open up any random web page that has HTTPS so we can break down what a certificate looks like.
Any random web page, I can
As long as it
probably
has
do.
HTTPS.
Well, as it so happens. Oh, this will be the first launch of Edge, so delightful.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah. Hmm. No. Good.
I have not launched Edge for the first time in forever. I didn't realize it bothered you so many times for your data.
For as good a browser as it is, it's quite annoying at the launch, and it makes me want to not use it, whereas otherwise it's totally fine. All right, this website I know has HTTPS enabled.
Perfect. So if you click the view site information, if you're using different browsers, it's located different spots, but what you're trying to find is a certificate. So connection secure, learn more.
Is this guy right here, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you go to details, this is what we're looking at, the certificate hierarchy. So you have a root server, which in this case is the ISRG root X1.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have an intermediate server, which is your R3.
Okay.
And then you have your actual certificate, which is for tigertech.com.
Okay.
So if you go back to your server list that you had on, or all your Windows servers that you have.
Oh, right.
We have our root server right there,
Mm-hmm.
our intermediate server right below it, and then our client would be the actual one pulling from and receiving the certificate from it.
Right. And we haven't talked about it yet, but what's the CRL?
So that stands for the Certification Revocation List. Instead of checking to see if your certificate is valid, because it assumes that if it signs and mathematically sound that it is valid, it just checks to make sure that the big head honcho hasn't revoked your certificate, the R in, and actually still allows you in. Because it's more of a naughty list than an allow list.
Got it. Okay, and just briefly, why is it important? We may get into this more later, but why is it important that all three of these are separate servers?
Sure. So your root server, your CA root, once you create it, we're actually going to turn it off, and you should put that thing in a safety deposit box, bury it underneath a mountain, whatever. Only ever turn it back on when things have gone wrong. Because if your root server gets owned, you're just entirely destroyed. I want to say it was Symantec that got their root server popped.
What
was it, back in 2016, 2017 area?
Yeah.
And they just got buried because they had to rebuild their entire, what is it, that Digi 2, not Digi 1 anymore? Because they just had to rebuild everything.
Right.
But if your intermediate server gets popped, all that you have to do is replace everything your intermediate server has signed. Because you can create a new intermediate from your root. So you should have a lot of intermediates that sort of break up what are logical, like workstations and users, or like third-party integration, stuff like that. So if one of those servers goes down, it's not going to take your entire environment down.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
So if you look here on your root server, or your root certificate that you have up, and then you scroll down. The other thing that we have to double check on this is, I think you scrolled a little too far. We're looking for issue date.
Okay. So
there it is. Validity. Not before, not after.
Okay. So not before 6/4/15, and then after 6/4/2035.
That may seem like a long time, but here's why, as we build our root server shortly, we have to pay attention to that is, no matter how many servers we have in the chain, they cannot sign a certificate that is valid for anything longer than what is above them. So that intermediate authority, R3, can't create a certificate that is valid after 6/4/35.
I mean, when you say it like that, it does sound obvious, but I bet that's a gotcha sometimes when people try to set up, super long certs.
It's not that super long certs. Is
Or
some of these
super long
PKI
expiry certs, I mean.
so 2 to 3 years is normally what's valid for a lot of enterprises, but a lot of people create root certificates that are only valid for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then at year 8 or 9, they're like, why does everything expiring in a year? And not realizing that, oh, we set this thing up 9 years ago. It's about to go bad. And when it goes bad, we have to replace everything in the environment. So PKI is a kind of an all or nothing thing. If you're somewhere up the chain goes bad, everything down is fruit from the poison tree, and you have to just replace it.
Got it. Okay.
So creating a root certificate authority sounds like it should be super hard and super high tech. It's a couple of clicks and like 10 minutes. So we can get started whenever you are ready.
I'm good to go. Let's do it.
So if you go to that Windows server, we can let's make sure it's booted up.
Our root.
Yep.
Okay.
Root.
Ready.
Windows makes it nice and easy. We're just going to install ADDCS.
Okay, so that's going to be manage, add roles and features.
Features.
Roles, and then, yes, the server. Active Directory certificate services.
Yep. And it's going to automatically install the tools, which, fun fact, one of those tools is Internet Explorer.
Still? I guess, yeah, still.
Yeah. Features, you don't really need much. One thing to note with the features is I do like to make sure that my root certificate authority has BitLocker Drive encryption set on it. That's a personal thing for me. It's not technically required, but like I said, as soon as I set up my root authority, I turn it off, take the hard drive out, and then put the hard drive in like a safety deposit box.
Right. That thing's a vault, so okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, I'm not going to BitLocker, just for performance reasons, I'm not going to BitLocker this VM, but it's a good note.
Yeah.
All right. So, role services, certification authority. Do we need anything else?
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Your root CA should literally just be a certificate authority and nothing else.
Will the web service go onto the intermediate?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, restart automatically. Off you go. Okay.
Yeah. So while this is operating, we can now do the exact same thing to our intermediate authority, but we're going to check all the other boxes.
Interesting. Okay. So same deal. Add roles and features. By the way, if you're curious what tool I'm using to make this remote desktop is as easy as this is KRDC, which is the KDE native RDP and VNC client, and I love it a lot. And so that's one of the many reasons why I set up my jump box as a Plasma desktop as opposed to anything else.
Yep, select yourself.
Yes. Turco says, guess I came at the right time, created an ADCS server yesterday for my AD lab. Awesome. Well, hopefully you did it right. We'll find out.
Add features.
Okay, ADCS.
Same thing with this one. On any CA, I always do BitLocker, but we're skipping it for this lab.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to check certificate authority still, yes?
Yes.
And then...
It's still... Yep, and it's going to start adding a lot of things.
Right.
The only one you're not going to do is the online responder.
Right. And this is like maybe the surprise one if you're not familiar with the web service, right? Which is that like you're making a web server, right? IIS is coming in. All right.
IIS 6, by the way, and ASP.NET, I think it's 3.2. So can you hit previous real quick?
Sure.
So if you notice right here, right, the certificate authority web enrollment, if you read the description on the side, it actually says right there what it's partially is used for, is CRLs.
Okay.
The only reason why we have a separate krill is so that way we can respond to a lot of things without hammering our intermediate authority. And also our intermediate authorities can be private while the krills are public.
I see. That was a little fast. So let's just make sure everything looks good here. Do we need to make any changes to if we extend this out?
Not really. I mean, you can. but that's getting like way into the weeds of things, and you
Okay.
want to do some like custom AD DCS things, and just it's by out of the box is perfect for 95% of what you need, unless you, like I said, trying to do something crazy and custom.
Awesome. Okay. Off you go. Let's check in on the root. Oh, looks like we're good.
Yep. And no restart required.
Ah, feels good. Conundrum, good to see you. Okay. So the root is ready.
Yep. So we can just click the AD DCS button on the side.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't like acronyms, Active Directory Certificate Services. Yes.
I mean, if you don't like acronyms, this is going to be a rough industry.
Yeah. So the first thing you notice is that it says configuration required.
Mm-hmm.
So if you click the more, it should start you down that path.
Okay, so we're going to configure ADCS. Okay.
Yep.
Configure credentials to role, specify credentials to configure role services. Now, this is the DA. Should I create another user and specifically assign it to this service?
By default, or by best practice, excuse me, your root CA should not be a domain user. It should be a local user that the username and password to is locked in some other vault somewhere that's not the vault that has your root server hard drive in it.
Interesting. Okay, so it shouldn't even be a domain account. It should be local to the machine.
Correct, because what you don't want is a domain popping your PKI.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because you know better than I do how easy it is to get into some domains.
Well, let's do it. I mean, let's do it the right way, right? So I don't know why I'm doing this via the... whatever. I'm doing a point and click, but... Turco asks, that's why there are intermediate CAs controlling certs, correct?
That's why there are...
I
yes,
think in relation to popping your PKI.
Yeah, so basically your root CA should only be signing intermediate CAs. It should not ever be signing anything below intermediate CA.
Actually, we have SecLab, so we can do that. We can do that too. Nope. There we go. SecLab. There we go. Okay, so this is a local account, right? This is our...
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so roles services to configure.
Certificate authority.
End of
That's
list. It. Okay. All right.
It's doing some things up top. I don't know if you see the little blue thing going.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Okay.
All right. So a standalone CA is what we have to do, because what we are not doing, or it won't be online. It is a standalone thing. It doesn't require ADS, and it doesn't need a network connection.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So we should hit next.
But the intermediate would be enterprise?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
The intermediate can be enterprise. Doesn't have to be, but can be enterprise.
Got it. Okay.
And we'll get into why you would want one or the other when we set that one up. Root CA. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. This is the root, or pardon the pun, but this is the core difference in the other than the other services that we installed.
Yes.
Okay.
Create a new private key. So right here, this is a big thing. When you're rebuilding a CA, right? I'm not actually like storing Windows 2012 or 16 or 19 or whatever this is on a hard drive in a vault, right?
Yeah.
I am just storing the private key, because storing Windows in a vault, right? When you try to bring that back on 10, 15, 20 years later, right? That's going to be a bad time.
Okay.
So
sorry, keep going.
So right now we're creating a private key because we don't have one. But if I were to be rebuilding the root server because I built one and I need to do another thing, I would be using existing private key and pull that one out of my vault and put it in.
Okay. I may have questions about best practices for private key storage later, so Stay tuned for that. We have a question from
Yes.
Turco. If the root CA is kept offline the majority of the time, does the private key not change so the intermediate CA can function?
Yes, if your private key ever changes, that means you have a whole new PKI tree or PKI forest, however you want to describe it. So every cert below it is immediately invalid.
All right, so we're creating a new private key.
For this one, I always like to choose 8096.
8096. All right.
That's not always available. For those of you who are still tied to Java, you would know that Java can't support giant keys quite yet in a lot of older legacy Java versions. So where I work, we actually have 2 PKI forests, one for our Java environment and one for our everything else.
Awesome. All right, so what about the hash algorithm?
Always select the best hash algorithm you have access to. Something to note is every time, though, that someone parses your certificate, so if you go back to that website that we had, we're going to be doing a lot of jumping around because...
Yep, that's why I did it this way. Right, so let's go to certificate signature algorithm. Let me go to mine. SHA-256.
But what your computer has to do when it verifies this, right, is verify your SHA-256 algorithm with its bit key size, which is what? What's your... Yeah, certificate field and issue. Scroll down. Scroll down. Subject's public key. Right there. Yep.
2048.
So you have, it has to do 2048 bits plus R3's. Well, I'm assuming is R3 2048 again.
Yes.
And then is root X1. That should be 4096, but it might not be.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. So that means every time that is what?
4096 plus
8192?
2048 times 2. Okay. Yeah, so it's 8192, yeah.
Yeah, so that means 8192 bits is just for public keys every time your website loads. which 8K might not sound like a lot, right? But it on lower devices, especially when your certificate change starts getting bigger and bigger, it adds up. Also, that server has to serve up what 8K per website load every time it's validated. Every request.
8 kilobits. We should specify, not kilobytes, right? Right. It's a factor of 8.
So when you're dealing with PKI, everything's in bits.
Right.
Nothing's done in bytes. So whenever I say 8K or give a size, I'm talking bits. But that's just the public key, right? That's not any of the information that goes around it. So these things can almost get up to a megabit in size, which serving a megabit to 1,000 people, that's 1,000 megabits. That is a gigabit link.
Yeah. Yeah. Another question from Turco is this why an HSM, which I think I missed, hardware security module,
yes,
is used to protect a private key on an intermediate CA, or what is it used for in a PKI?
So an HSM is a hardware security module that can store private keys. We got into the very beginning where a smart card is a type of HSM, a personal HSM, but it's a type of one. These network tile HSMs, yes, would be to store private keys of some significant signing servers, PKI servers, stuff like that. And actually, a lot of HSM nowadays can be and should be an intermediate authority because it can sign. Basically, it's hardware specifically for signing certificates. Dealing with certificates very fast. It has a lot of custom built hardware specifically for doing all the bit manipulation very quickly.
Interesting. Okay.
The problem is they carry a very hefty price tag. The cheapest HSM that I could find that I tried to purchase the other day was $35,000 before I added any material. It was just for the USB drive.
Okay. That's yeah.
Yeah, HSMs get very expensive very quickly. And So I'm very deep in the PKI industry. I have my own startup, technical startup that's focused on PKI. Um, and that's why I'm saying that it's easy for it to do, but it's easy also to screw up, and it's very expensive. Just to be clear, no. So an HSM stores private keys. It can be an intermediate CA, or it can just store your private keys of your intermediate CA so you can rebuild them quickly. Sorry, I was answering that.
No. I'm glad you did. All right.
So, but relating this back to on a root CA, if you do 8192, which I gave you the wrong side, it's not 8096, it's 8192. If you do 8192, just realize that things are going to start compounding very quickly, right? Because now every time a computer receives it, they have to do a SHA-512 algorithm on an 8192 key.
Right.
So if you want to go quickly, maybe SHA-256 and 4096 is good enough for you. It really depends on what you're securing. If you're securing state secrets, nuclear launch codes, yeah, you'll take the extra 2 microseconds to have a longer key, right? But if it's, hey, we're just securing Jim Bob's website that just shows what he had for dinner on Thursday, maybe the more rapid, smaller key length is better.
I have to know what happens when we click on more about cryptography.
If this is internet connected, it's going to open up a Microsoft doc on basic cryptography stuff. And it does it in Internet Explorer. Yes.
That's all the server has. That's all the server has.
They don't come with Edge yet?
It says download Microsoft Edge, but bad news, friends. That's not like a thing. I mean, you can do it, but it's actually kind of weird for servers because the switch over to Edge from IE was workstation specific. It did not impact servers.
Yeah. Another thing I want to note as well is before you close that page, notice it says applies to Windows Server 2012 R2 and Windows Server 2012. They have not touched ADCS since 2012, and it was only an incremental upgrade over the 2008.
If we look at the if we look at the CSR interface, if we actually look at the cert serve IIS page, if we do that tonight, it'll be immediately obvious that they haven't updated it since then.
Yeah. And it was just security updates between 08 and 2016 or 2012. So
neat.
Do I build Microsoft PKI? Yes. Do I recommend corporations build Microsoft PKI? Only if you are a full Microsoft shop and you are terrified of the Linux command system.
Yeah, I mean, doing this in Linux would be a lot of like OpenSSL commands, right, to set up things like that. Yeah, I've been there.
It is not friendly.
It's not.
So, but yeah, this just opens up an ancient web page that has pretty much no bearing on stuff today.
Cool. All right, let's close that then and continue on our merry way. Yes, close all tabs. Is that indicative that they're planning on sunsetting ADCS? I don't think so.
I have my whole conspiracy theory that Microsoft is subtly shooting a lot of stuff over to Linux as C# becomes more of a core language, but that's a whole rabbit hole.
Well, I mean, while we're here, I mean, I can put on my own foil hat. This isn't even a foil hat. This is actually like the clear business strategy, right? So they're not, it's not that they're sunsetting ADCS, the hang up, any more than they're sunsetting Active Directory. What they are doing is they are ending the addition of new features, right? And so they've done this for Active Directory for some time. When was the last time Active Directory got a new feature, right? And similarly, Hyper-V, right? They basically nerfed Hyper-V for virtualization on a server. Why? They don't want you to do that anymore. They want you to use Azure. And they also want you to use Azure Active Directory. So I think that it's likely that similarly ADCS, they will be kind of like, well, we have this new product, and you don't have to maintain it. All you have to do is give us your money. And that's probably what they want to do.
So something to note, by the way, is if you click the select a cryptographic provider,
Oh, hello.
right here, right here, that is the HSM that he was referring to.
I
If you
see.
had an HSM and drivers installed, you would see it here.
Oh, cool. And so, all right, so ECDSA. Is there a reason to choose another one of these at this point?
If you have a smart card with a private key on it, yes, right, or to store a private key on it. DSA, no, unless you're trying to interface with a legacy system. So a lot of these are legacy.
Okay.
Like the only thing on here that you might want to choose is ECC, which I don't even really see. So yeah, no.
Okay. All right, so we're going to do 4096 with 256, or SHA-256. Allow
Yep.
administrator interaction when the private key is accessed by the CA.
You can do that. The problem is then every time the thing is used, you have to go in and click approve, which this thing's not supposed to be online anyway. So
Okay. We will leave that alone. Name of the CA. So we've got some LDAP syntax and common name for the CA. So basically it's filling in the domain and then the host name and then adding CA to it.
So something to note is no two CAs can be named the same thing, right? Which that's the obvious one, right? But also it's supposed to be what authority does this certificate do? And for this one, it's your PKI demo.local authority, right? It's the whole domain. You can actually have, say, it's subdomains. You can have a PKI tree just for that subdomain that this root CA doesn't have any authority over. So I would just pick what looks good for you. I mean, this is all personal preference.
Yeah. I mean, this seems fine to me, and in part it's because the reason is very bad. Why it looks okay to me is because this is very similar to the naming conventions that I learned doing the certified pre-owned attack chains. Right? Going after ADCS, all of those labs have CAs that look just like this.
Yeah, that's because it's default. And it's what Microsoft thought was a great idea almost a decade ago.
All right. Well, we'll leave it as is for now. At least it's predictable.
Yep.
Okay, so the validity period for the certificate generated by the certificate authority. Enterprise is 3 to 5 years.
This is your root. Enterprise root is how long before you're basically going to pay to remake higher PKI environment.
1,000 years. Oh, I can only go up to 100. Interesting. It only has 3 digits.
Yes, I believe actually the limit is 1 byte.
Ah, interesting.
I believe it is a bit, or sorry, 8 bits for the length. So normally 20, 25 years is about what these things are valid for.
Oh, fascinating. Okay. So 20 years.
For roots. For roots.
2042. That's not a real year. We won't be here for that.
Ugh.
All right. Next.
So once again, this is for where your certs are actually going to be stored. If you have an HSM, you could select the HSM link right here. But since this is a demo, System 32 sounds like a good place to enter.
Are these logs something that you would want to get forwarded to a SIM?
No.
Okay.
Well, yes and no. So so the cert log, especially in your root, is what certificate did I sign and who is it for? Right? So for your root, it doesn't really matter because your root, like I said, should
gonna be off
as
anyway.
soon as we sign this AIA thing, we're turning this thing off.
Right.
But for your intermediates, the answer could be yes, especially because you have something like Cisco ICE or Ansible or something that automatically provisions in infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually see in your cert log that something came on at this time. Cisco ICE saw it, and then automatically you see from your cert, this was signed by this person at this time.
This is jumping ahead. This is jumping ahead a little bit, but another reason I don't know if this is true, but another reason I could imagine is, let's say that your basic user's machine account quota was not 0, and somebody's going after one of those ADCS attacks that begins by enrolling a new machine account. Is this where that would show up?
This would just say, yeah, user so-and-so requested a signed at this time from this location.
Okay.
And the result of did it the IA sign it or?
Got it. Okay. I think there are win event logs things that are related to that as well, so we may not. Yes. It may not be necessary.
Something also to note though is CRL and authentication checks aren't here. This is strictly for creation and signing of certificates.
Right. Okay. Configure.
Yep. And congratulations, you're now the owner of your own root certificate authority.
I'm so proud.
So first things first is, can you please open Cert Manager?
On this server.
On this server, yes.
Oh, interesting. Do I want this, or do I actually want?
This is exactly where you want to be.
Okay, so cert serve. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
So those of you who don't know, cert serve is a command on command line. Like you can open up command prompt and type cert serve, and it will start working and doing things. And that is how Windows still communicates all of its certificate stuff. So if you are familiar with DOMs and how they work, or if you ever try to do anything automatic with certificates on Windows, you have to do it low level Windows C, not Windows C++ or Visual, like it's Windows C to do anything with certs on Windows.
And that's because the relevant functions have never been brought up to newer DLLs, or what's the deal?
Yes.
Okay.
The DLLs are still, say, when you open them, Windows XP.
Okay.
Excuse me, no. Windows Vistas. Windows Vistas when they remade it. Yeah, because when they switched from the old XP kernel to like the newer Vista kernel, that they rewrote it. Mm-hmm. But it's still ancient.
Cool.
But here's where you'll start seeing certificates populate. Issued certificates, please. Should be blank. No pending, no revoked. If you click yourself, no failed.
Yeah, everything looks good here.
So if you click yourself,
like here,
actually, yep.
Okay.
Yep. So properties. There should be a enrollment agent. There it is.
It says enrollment agents are only supported for enterprise CAs.
Exactly. So that's what we wanted to make sure that this right here didn't somehow accidentally get set up as an enterprise CA, because for some reason you click standalone in the GUI and not supposed to be.
Okay. All right.
So this has been set up.
Cool. All right. Leave this up, I presume?
Yes, because you're going to have to come back and sign your intermediate authority here shortly.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of, all right, here we are. The intermediate
says, I guess I'm going to say for an HSM for my own lab. Good luck, man. I've been wanting an HSM for years. Yep, unit close.
Okay. We're going to go to ADCS again.
Yep.
Same deal. Configure this guy. Okay, and this should also have SecLab on it.
Correct. So your IA should also be like that. Is it as critical? No, but also best practices is yes, should not be attached to your domain in any significant manner.
Okay.
So you want certificate authority because you're you're an intermediate authority.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna want web enrollment.
Yeah.
You're gonna want network device enrollment.
Yes. Okay. Ooh. Uh-oh. It says a certificate authority and the network device enrollment service cannot be installed on this computer simultaneously. Complete your CA setup before setting up the network device enrollment service.
Oh, I guess you can't set them up by yourself. Okay, that's fine. Certificate enrollment web service.
Okay. Same deal. I think we have to set up the CA first, and then we can come back and do this.
All right, that's sure. I have a Python or a PowerShell script that sets up all the stuff for me normally, so I guess I must have saw this error and fixed it, and then promptly forgot that I fixed this error.
Okay. All right, so we're going to do CA and web enrollment and come back and do the others.
Yes.
All right. Looks like we have to do standalone.
Enterprise. You should use this one. Should be. It's on the domain, correct?
Oh yeah.
Because this one should be able to be enterprise.
Is not.
Oh, it's looked like it requires ADDS to be installed.
Oh, so basically it's a replica
Yes.
PC as well? Okay.
We're gonna have to install ADDS real quick.
That's fine. That's fine. We'll close out of this, and we'll do that first. Tool or manage, add rules and features. So that's actually an important point. Is it the case that intermediate certificate authorities are just by default at least read-only domain controllers?
It's not. It does make it easier though to automatically provision stuff for users and for machines because they get to see all of LDAP, right?
Makes sense. Okay. Look at this. You can already see here that it's like, hey, what if you used Azure Active Directory? Think about
Well,
it.
it can't support that.
Mr. Crumbs says, I've been using Step CA for my home PKI. Do you have a link for us, Mr. Crumbs? All right, we'll install this. I'm pretty sure this is going to trigger a restart, but that's okay. Step CA.
Protocol.
Online CA for its server counterpart Step CLI. Secured with TLS. Well, I should hope so. Teams use
certificates to humans. Yeah.
Huh. That's actually pretty cool.
But I believe that this is Linux only.
Oh, almost certainly.
It is. Okay. So yes, that's awesome for like home labs and stuff like that. And I'm probably gonna start doing it.
Oh, it says it runs on Windows too. But will it do the thing is will it do domain enrollments, I think is like part of the challenge.
Yes.
Right?
That's the issue.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as you're in Active Directory, I'm sure you can pipe stuff around. Boy, that sentence is doing a lot of work.
The answer is no. The longer answer is Windows was a very closed ecosystem for a very long time. They're just now kind of opening things up, but a lot of things are still very closed because they're just kind of pushing you to Azure instead.
Yeah. And also, just like integrating anything that isn't from Microsoft with the Microsoft implementation of things like Active Directory is just, or of LDAP, meaning Active Directory, is just a nightmare.
I hope you like Windows C.
Okay, so feature installation is done here. So ADDS is done. Now we're still ready to configure Active Directory certificate services. Let's try this one more time. Okay, certificate authority.
And web enrollment. Yep, we'll just do those two for right now because we know the other ones are going to break.
It can't even do online responder.
We didn't select it for install.
Oh, yeah. I was just curious. Yeah, okay. Just thought I'd check. Still can't do enterprise.
You should be able to because it's on. It's now has ADDS unless you have to set up ADDS.
I mean, I don't have that as a task.
No. So if you click ADDS right there.
Yeah, fair enough. We probably do have to set it up. All right, here we go.
Yep, configuration required.
Promote the server to a domain controller, right?
Yes, because you just installed it. You have to still promote it in.
Add, no.
To existing domain. Yep, that's the domain.
Yes, this looks right. Good. Wonderful. An account name. Did I not do that? Ooh, yeah, no, that's right.
That was weird. That was weird.
Turco asks, is there any way I can check if I did standalone versus enterprise at this stage?
Yes, enrollment agents.
Mm.
You would have to go back and check to see if you can do enrollment agents. I don't know if RODC is valid here.
I would hope so, but okay.
Default first site name is fine. And then directory services restore mode, which you hopefully will never have to use ever.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I don't want this to be another DNS server. Do I?
No, you're gonna do that.
Yeah, great.
I know the biggest one you need is global catalog.
Okay. Replicate from
any domain controller.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only going to pick the other one.
Yes. Do this. On your way.
This is probably going to require a reboot.
Wait.
You need to have both.
It says verification of prerequisites for domain controller promotion failed. Certificate server is installed.
You're supposed to have both. All right.
So what do we do?
Remove. Give me a second.
ADCS. Make it a domain controller first, then go to ADCS.
Give me a second. I'm digging through my notes from doing this.
Yeah. You were like, oh, it'll be 15 minutes per section.
Yeah.
It's like,
hierarchy.
That's the confidence of someone who doesn't do this live.
Never. An enterprise CA relies on ADDS as configuration or shared database. Enterprise CA also uses ADDS. So it needs to have ADDS installed. It says right here. Enterprise CA requires ADDS.
Yes,
So
I think that is correct. I think the problem is that ADDS to install requires that ADCS not be there first. That's what we're running into right now. So the fix would be uninstall ADCS. We'll go do that again, but
no, it's saying that it's not supposed to be. Create an ADDS environment for a single forest for your process.
VDCN says it's not recommended to put ADCS on a domain controller. And yet when we tried VDCN to do an enterprise, we couldn't do it.
So it shouldn't be a domain controller. I know that. And looking through my notes, it's saying that ADDS needs to be installed.
Okay.
Going through.
So we don't actually, but ADDS installed, but not configured as a domain controller?
I guess because it does give you access to the like basically RSAT tools, right?
Okay. All right, but now if we go back to ADCS, right, so leaving things as is, Bast is correct. A reboot never hurt anybody here at this point. Worth a shot. Down you go. Is there anything we can do to get the krill going?
Install ADCS.
Okay. So let's add ADCS again.
So looking through my notes, I installed DNS as well, but I don't know if that's a hard requirement.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
All right. So for the krill server,
Next.
so not certification authority, right?
It's not an authority.
Right.
So if you click like certificate enrollment web policy service.
Oh, right. It says this is what that is.
Yep.
Okay. And yes, we get IIS and all the other fun stuff. Okay.
And then online responder as well.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Right, because that's things are going to ask it like, hey, is this on the list? And then this has to be like, yes or no.
Yes.
It's my very technical explanation of how CRLs work.
It's basically the bouncer at the club.
Okay. Off you go. Install you. The intermediate should be restarted at this point. Hooray.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, no, it's up. Do you perhaps, Turco, mean OSCP rather than... Or no, you're right. OCSP. I had it backwards. I was thinking OSCP. Ask whether the cert is valid. CRL confirms it. Not quite, right?
OCSP checks to see if the cert's valid.
Yeah.
CRL see to make sure that it hasn't been revoked. Because you can have a valid but revoked cert. Was that Oxterico? Yes, you have an enterprise. So you have an enterprise CA set up.
Okay.
Come on, server manager.
Yeah, take your time. It's still doing its thing. I don't know why I'm so skimpy with the resources on these. I really have some room here. I've got 40 cores, 64 gigs of RAM, and I'm not... Yeah, I have plenty of room if I wanted to kick these up, but let's see.
There we go. It's mad about something.
Fantastic. Okay, so do we want to try ADCS again?
Yes.
But do we want to remove ADDS first?
No, we want to keep ADDS is required. It's
Okay.
not a domain. It's not a whatchamacallit, a domain controller.
Okay. All right, so we're going to try this configure again. Once again, we're going to use a local account,
admin.
not the DA. Once this does its thing. So, Turco, maybe we promoted to a read-only DC, but the problem is we couldn't even do that while ADCS was present. So, maybe it's a weird sequencing thing, but I'm not really sure at this point. Oops. Okay, so CA.
And web enrollment are the
Yeah.
big ones that we need right now.
Okay.
Maybe. If it lets you.
So far, so
There we go.
good.
That's so strange. So we're missing something from what my notes have.
I'll click on this. I don't think we're going to learn anything from it, but... Oh, yeah, Internet Explorer. Get out of here.
Well, the only difference that I have is looking at it is DNS is also installed.
Enterprise CAs are integrated with Active Directory domain services. They publish certificates. When a certificate is issued, the Enterprise CA uses information in the certificate template to generate a certificate with the appropriate attributes of the certificate type. By default, you must be a member of the Enterprise Admins group to install and configure an Enterprise CA. I mean,
Interesting.
I'm
So-
the DA. I can't imagine that I'm not, but
Can you go back though?
yeah.
No. Can you go back to setting it up?
Yes. Oh,
Can you go
wait. Right. So, fascinating.
So it's not happy with you there
So that's fine.
because at my work we have a custom account set up for PKI that we use that is on the domain, but it's technically also not on the domain. It's a local account, but I guess this is to configure role services, not to
Okay, I think right. So
authenticate the machine.
if it needs us to be, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. The Microsoft documentation actually did help us figure it out.
Yep, rubber ducky.
Okay. Enterprise CA. Subordinate CA.
Subordinate.
Okay. I think that was a good thing to learn. You have to be a member of the Enterprise Admins group if you want to set up an Enterprise CA, which now saying it out loud makes a whole lot of sense.
Yes, we are creating a new private key
Okay.
because every CA should have its own private key unless you're rebuilding it and you have a private key.
Okay. It's 4096, SHA-256. Okay.
Yep, that's perfectly fine. I mean, you can technically do MD5 if you want.
No, thank you.
So once again, this is something to note. Your root CA could be a root for the entire environment, but you can have an intermediate CA that only services parts of your environment.
Mm-hmm.
So say you had a security lab set up, right? Like that hangs off your domain. seclab.pkidemo.local.
Yeah.
You can create an intermediate CA to just service that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
because of how CAs work. Once you create a certificate, you track that certificate till the end of time.
Right.
At 4K bits, 4K bits assert, that does add up eventually.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about hundreds of thousands of certs, because even after you delete the machine or destroy the machine, a certificate lives on, almost like the soul of the machine.
Boy, that's
Yeah, you will always have these ghosts. Now, granted, when you delete a machine, you should revoke the certificate, but you still have to track that you revoked the certificate, so no one somehow tries to resurrect that machine and logs in and be like, "Oh wait, nope, I revoked your certificate when I deleted it. You can't come back. Stay away, zombie."
all right. Request a certificate from parent CA. Ah, interesting. So,
Yes.
do we want to send a certificate request to the parent CA?
We can't, because our root CA is not on Enterprise. You can try, but I've never had good luck with it.
Okay. So we're basically going to save the CSR locally and then...
Yes.
Okay. CSR, by the way, for those following along, is certificate signing request. It's basically like, the permission slip you got to go get signed by your parent.
Yep.
All right. Same location.
Did you check where you're actually saving that, by the way?
Yeah. System 32 cert log.
No, your CSR.
Oh, you betcha. At the root, the file system.
That works.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Now this should be very quick. Active records.
Well, that's right.
Yep, we were aware of that.
Okay.
So now we hit close.
Okay. No more role services for the moment. Or do we?
Not yet. Well, let's go get our CSR signed.
Sure. Okay. How?
You just have to get the CSR to your root box, however you want.
Okay. Well, that should be easy enough.
Save at C root, right?
Yes. Okay.
Notice something. You typed 4096. The CSR is 2 kilobytes. Because of all the extra stuff, good rule of thumb is your CSR is always going to be half of what you typed in bytes. So if you typed in 4096, right, that'd be 2 KB because it's 4K bits, 2K bytes.
Got it. Okay. The CSR is now local to our root.
So if you just find it, show you how hard this is. It's dastardly hard. Right click. Go to properties, make sure that we copied everything over, and you have rights over the file.
I do.
Perfect. So in CertServe, there should be a way to sign it. Action. Hold on. Once I use CertServe the command prompts, which we're not going to go down that because I always have to look it up.
Is it like a drag and drop situation?
Should be, no.
No.
Here, real quick. Getting CertServe. I've got a whole list of these notes that I've just done throughout the year. Yep, so this creates a CSR.
Oh, wait. I got it. I got it. So you go to action, or no, sorry. You right click on the PKI demo thing, all tasks, submit your request, and then
There it is. Okay. See, I thought it was an action. And then when it wasn't there, maybe question reality.
we now have a pending
So,
request.
yep. So it's been taken under submission.
Okay.
So you should be able to right click that
Issue.
issue.
Is there anything you wanted to check out before we do?
If you want, you can click view attributes extensions. So it's sees where you're coming from, and then here's some extensions. The CA version you're on, the krill distribution point, all this stuff, which
Cool.
we will have to set up, and it's gonna take a minute.
Okay. Issue.
Yep. So now, good issued certificates. There it is.
Okay. And
So
we
export.
export binary data.
Yep. Columns that contain the data. You're just gonna want the
Binary certificate.
yes. Yes. I don't know if you heard me. Sorry.
I can hear you.
Save binary data to a file.
Okay. And for this, we'll do the same trick. And save it as what?
Dot CER is what I normally do.
Okay. Okay, so now I have. Should I be bringing up cert serve in here?
Yes.
Okay.
So actually, no, excuse me. You shouldn't. Remember I said you still had things to do for ADCS?
Yes, we do.
More, because that's the easier way. I just realized. Configure.
Okay.
Next. Next.
Did we want to add anything else here?
Not right now. Let's just get the cert sign. I guess certificate enrollment web service works. No, let's see.
Access is denied.
Yeah. Why are you complaining? This is why I hate Windows. So I guess we're just gonna have to go through cert serve.
Yeah, if you I don't like if you don't do it the at the wizard when it prompts you, you don't get the option anymore. Oh, not what I wanted.
Yeah, you launched the
Command
command app,
Mm-hmm.
which did exactly what it did and closed again.
The service is stopped. But
Yes, because
um,
so it itself, if you notice, right, can't be please start. You can't start it because it needs its certificate to be validated.
yeah.
So if you click the server itself, right click it.
Restore CA or install CA certificate.
Yes. Yeah, X59. Yes.
It said a certificate chain could not be built to the trusted root authority. Is that okay?
Cannot find a certificate for.
It doesn't have the root
Yes.
CA cert.
Correct, which is fine.
Okay. It says, do you want to find it?
Yes, so now you actually need to go grab it. So if you go to search serve on the other side,
Uh-huh.
right click your server, all tasks.
Backup CA?
No. It should be pulling out from you.
Is it? Just asking. Is it going to be listed here?
It would be
Okay, so
personal.
really? All right.
It's a personal cert.
Yeah, fair enough. So this guy, right? So if we
Yep. It is self-signed.
all tasks export.
Export. Nice. Do not export the private key.
No. dir encoded binary, right? Is what we were doing before. So
You can do that, or you can do the PKCS. It really, none of it matters.
okay. File name. Send it. Yeah. Cool. PKI demo. CA. Root. .sir. I don't care how weird that looks.
Sure.
Looks good.
Yep.
Wonderful. Back over here. It's the root
There it is.
cert. It still can't verify the chain.
Because the revocation server is offline. Yes, we know the revocation server is off.
Okay.
There is no revocation server. So now right-click start.
Same.
Can you do me a favor? Go to your personal certificate. The cert store.
Yeah.
Managed. Yeah. Because your krill should have populated. It should have populated itself as a krill. Personal. Oh, you're current user. You're not computer.
Oh, you said personal. But okay. Manage computer certificates.
Yes.
Certificates. So
Yes.
I have the intermediate.
Issued by, which is correct.
Uh-huh.
So right click it. Properties.
No, just properties.
General. Okay, this is all good. Can you click OCSP, or is it loading?
No, you can. We haven't set up the curl server. Does that matter? Like, should we do that?
It doesn't. We're still trying to get this thing set up, so just disable for right now. See if it gets up. Because once it's up, we have to bring the krill up and then sign it.
Okay.
So disable the certificate revocation list. No, it says right there, the little checkbox.
Oh, disable. Okay.
So basically now you're saying, if you have a valid cert or signed, it's valid.
Okay.
Which is perfectly secure. Yes, we know it's offline. This PKI.
Security. Nope.
So which ones do we have? We have these certificate enrollment and which one else set up?
I think that's kind of it. Hang on. Go to more. We have authority and web enrollment.
Which is what all we should need. Because it's not letting you do certificate enrollment web service, correct?
No.
And you can't modify any of these roles?
I don't think so.
Because going through everything's been set up properly. Who was it that recommended this step CA?
Oh, well, okay, so brass tacks, the service is refusing to come up because it cannot connect to the CRL.
Which it itself should have its own CRL as we set it up so far.
Okay.
And when you try configuring it over here, nothing, it doesn't let you.
Well, you mean in this method, right? Where we're saying,
No, you try hitting and server manager.
oh, I mean, yeah, not really, unless... Certification
No, so like
authority. Yeah, no,
when
nothing.
you go up here and you click more, it doesn't let you do anything.
No, we were just, that was the wizard we were in.
Wait, can never be trusted. Let's read the error. Screw it. See what the error says. No, underneath the events.
When we start the service?
It's already here under events.
Oh, right.
Serve. Yep.
Could not load or verify the current CA certificate. The revocation function was unable to check revocation because the revocation server was offline. It's a candidate for some Googling.
Stealthpuppy.com. I'm already on it. Yep. And that one actually, yeah, that's
perfect.
Solved. All right. So, if you go to, yep. So
extensions, CRL distribution point.
And check Twitch. Oh, you got it. Just keep scrolling down. You'll see a command to run.
Oh, just like literally this. That's asinine.
Yeah. This is the solve. This is why I hate Windows.
Wow, and actually non-malicious use of certutil.
Mark of the day.
Oh, of course, it's not pasting.
As you have.
Set reg. Oh, this is gonna suck. Okay. Certutil, set reg. Hold, please. I can paste from there, but I can't paste into there. There we go. But I'm pretty sure I have to do certutil.exe because PowerShell.
Yep. Reboot.
No, just restart restart the service.
That's true.
I'm a Linux admin. I don't reboot unless I absolutely have to.
That's not the Windows way. I wonder how much lost productivity
has
been due to Windows reboots.
That did it.
Yeah.
Service is up. Oh, tons. Hours. Years of lost productivity due to reboots. Especially given the update mechanism.
Ugh. So now all you have to do is right click this thing.
Yeah.
All tasks. And then you can back up your CA.
Uh-huh.
Next.
Hold on. A moment of appreciation for the Windows Vista era disk icon here.
It's hasn't changed, I'm telling you. And this is why Windows PKI frustrates me so, is because this was written Vista era, and it was a port from XP. So all the problems we're having tonight, I can almost promise you, if you ever try to go set this up tomorrow, you might not have half these issues just because it worked. Because solar flares or a butterfly in Kenya flapped its wings or whatever. Private key CA certificate.
Okay.
The database we don't need to do right now because there's nothing in it.
Okay.
Back up to this location.
Backup directory.
And the the entire directory has to be completely empty. So, and because this is also like Vista era, you can't like create a folder from this stupid prompt. You are in the wrong downloads folder, sir.
Yep. Wonder if I'll ever spell backup correctly the first time.
No.
So far. Okay.
Next. Yes, you should use a password.
Oh, it's an option? I didn't realize it was an option.
Ish.
Okay.
Finish.
Okay, backed up.
Now you're going to take that folder.
Mm-hmm.
You can put it on the root CA.
Oh, nope. That's where I wanted it to be. Okay.
And then let's check the cert before we shut the root CA down. So if you go back to your cert in your certificate, no, not the root CA cert, your cert in your local certs. Yep. Nope, not that one.
Thing. It was this.
Yep.
It was this one. Okay, yeah.
Right click. I just want to make sure where the krill is pointing to. I really want to make sure it's not the thing. So why aren't you seeing the entire cert? Can you just double click it? There we go. Details. Scroll down. Should be a yep.
It points to the root CA.
That is why it's wrong. It needs to point to yourself.
Oh, okay. Well, how did that happen?
When the krill signed it, it automatically, or not when the krill, when the root CA signed it, it automatically pointed to itself.
I see. And because the root CA is not maintaining a CRL, that was the problem?
Yes.
Okay, but we don't want the root CA to maintain one?
Correct.
Okay.
Because we're about to turn it off.
Right. Okay. So that's a weird gotcha.
Yeah. So edit properties. It might let you edit it. OCSP. Add a URL. Add itself.
Can I do it like with a UNC path, or what am I doing?
So if you go back to your certificate, it's going to be structured that kind of exact same way.
Okay.
It's a file path.
I see. Can I copy this text?
Sure. I believe so.
Yes. Okay. So edit properties, OSCP, and then change CA root to, of course, why would that work? Int local certain role.
Yep.
PKI demo CA root CA or int
It's you should only have one krill, to be honest. So just whatever you want your krill to be called.
Okay. That's fine.
Uncheck the sit. We'll fine. It's fine. Hit apply.
Okay.
Okay. So now, scroll down. It's still saying the old one.
Yes, it is.
Hit OK. Oh, hit OK. Double click it again.
Just for good measure. Okay.
Nope,
Didn't
still the
change.
only one. So we're gonna have to get this re-signed. I hate Windows. I hate Windows. I hate Windows.
Well, how could that have gone right? If we're not supposed to have a krill on the root CA, right? And you're creating a signing request, and is there a way to manage the signing process so that it signs with a different, or creates a certificate with a different krill listed by default?
Yes. So if actually, if you go on that same site and scroll down, it tells you how you're supposed to do it. So hit OK on this
Yeah.
for right now.
Okay.
Go back to your root CA. And we're going to go open up cert serve.
We're here. And hey, to Web Dev Freak, thank you for the follow.
I freeze every once in a while. That's fine. You don't need to see my face.
Well, so the reason that's happening, by the way, is just because OBS is very aggressive about not updating window inputs whenever it can. So basically, like, if Ductape is not the second to last window that had focus, or the current window that has focus, it will stop updating input from that window. I don't know why that's true, but it is the case. So I have, like, if I click into a browser window in my system rather than the remote desktop that you're seeing here, I then have to go back and like click on Ductape's Discord video chat in order to make that update. It's just a weird OBS thing. Sorry about that.
That's right. So we can have this just ignore krills right now, because let's take a look. Start the offline, log into a certificate authority console. You want to ensure. So click revoke certificates, right click it. All tasks, publish. So right here, a new krill.
So we are making one.
But what we're supposed to be doing is moving it. So wherever it just saved, we need to move it.
Oh, crap. I went too fast.
It's fine. It should be C, Windows, System 32, cert serve, cert enroll.
Oh, I didn't have a chance to see. It just said new CRL.
Yeah, because it's C, Windows. It's always in the same spot.
Okay.
So it should be C, Windows, cert serve.
System 32, cert serve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cert enroll?
There it is. Yep. And then it's in there.
Okay.
There's the krill. So if you want to open it up, what a krill looks like,
Sure.
it's who issued it and what's in there, and when's the next one being issued. So if you look at it, the next one's being issued October 5th.
I see. Okay. So we're going to move this to where?
So that you can move it to anywhere that your other server can see it.
Other server meaning?
Your intermediate.
Ah, interesting.
So you should put it on the krill, because we're going to have set it properly.
I see. Well, let's do that.
So let's see. Before actually, can you click the properties of revoke certificates?
Oh,
Not of that, of the actual folder. Oh, that's also not good.
okay.
For an offline root, your krill is a week, which means after a week, like your krill's inactive, which is
Okay.
not good for
So change it to some years.
a couple of years. And then view krills. Okay, you just have the one.
Okay.
Can you actually go back to that after you hit apply? Just that way we make sure we
it.
locked 5 years in. Double click it. Krill number, publish krill location. So yeah, it's still saying that it's local. So we need to change your krill location.
Okay.
And I forgot to do it on Windows, or how to do it on Windows. All right. Properties on, so hit OK on this. Properties on your root. Extensions. Here we go. Krill distribution point, CDP.
Okay.
You need to change this to a place that actually you can see and go to.
Okay.
So remove all these.
Okay. And this is something we
Yep.
probably should have done from the jump.
Yes.
Okay.
I completely forgot about this step.
Okay.
Add.
Do we want to copy the existing krill over first, or do we just create a new location here?
The existing krill still says the location is here.
So we're going to
krills
blow that
have
away.
location. Yeah, krills have location built in.
Okay.
Add. And then HTTP.
Okay.
Yes, not HTTPS, by the way. HTTP.
Cool.
And then however you can get to your actual krill box.
Okay.
Whatever you need to do, like .local or PKI demo.local.
I mean, this should resolve because it's set to search the domain.
But this is, I'm teaching how to set it up properly because this is a krill that's going to be public. So it could be things not in your domain necessarily.
I see. Okay.
/CA name. So
Wait,
no,
no.
it's going to
slash the name of the CA. So in this case, it would be PKI demo CA
dash
root. Yeah, thanks. CA root CA.
Yep.
And then, do we just invent a krill name suffix or?
So hold on, and then it should be /krill name suffix.
Oh wait, hold on a second. We have wait, we can just if I hit insert, what does this do?
Yeah, that inserts the variable.
Well, fine. Delta Sierra. Oh, so I don't have to do the CA name either. I can just leave that.
Yeah, you can.
I didn't have to guess at it. Okay.
Not a guess. There's no slash between the two.
Ah, you're right. Okay, and then
Delta krill allowed.
Yeah. Boy. This is a mess.
Yes. And then hit OK.
Wait, I need .crl at the end of it.
Yes, you need .curl. Sorry. I thought you typed that in. It's been a long night. It's only 6:40.
Uh-huh. Okay. One last check to make sure this is good. /CA name, krill name suffix, delta krill allowed, .krill. I feel like a whale talking about krill this much. Okay.
So notice you do not have the ability to publish krills to that location automatically.
Okay.
Because it's HTTP, so you have to do something. I personally have a PowerShell script that dumps it. So what you want to do is include in krills. Clients use this to find the delta krill locations.
Mm-hmm.
Include the CDP extension, which is the krill distribution points, and then you don't need you can do the last one as well, which is the IDP. But it's just that way everyone knows where to find this thing.
Okay.
Now you have to hit add, or you can hit apply, but you have to add another one.
Well, let's hit add. Where are we going now?
File, colon, yep. I think you're missing a slash.
I've got 3.
All right. And then wherever on the local machine, you're going to dump the file.
So, same deal, right? Movie Windows.
I personally don't put it there because I put it somewhere where you can have a PowerShell script or something pick it up to actually move it to your krill.
Oh, okay. So maybe we put it at like the root and just call it
Sure.
CA name, krill name suffix.
Delta krill allowed.
Yeah.
.crl. Okay.
Okay. And
don't hit it. Okay. And now you don't publish, or sorry, you publish krill to this location, but you don't include it in the actual krill.
right.
Because-
Okay. You can. In fact, you can't.
Well, no, so because including krills, clients use this to find delta krill locations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we include in the CDP extension of issued certs?
No,
No.
nothing, because you don't want anyone trying to actually look for it there.
That's an important point. So, if can you do anything with that if you find it? What can you do with it?
So it's not so much you can do with anything you find it. It breaks certificates because if I can't reach that, then the cert's just considered invalid because I can't find the revocation list. But also, if you see it in a certificate, you know exactly where the revocation list is. And if you change that revocation list, you could bring certs back from the dead or make new ones. Or sorry, not make new ones, but or make ones that are valid invalid.
Right. Okay.
Or
so,
just destroy the krill.
yeah. So you could wreak some havoc if you had access
Yes.
to that. Okay.
But also, if you have access to the local box of the certificate authority, we have much greater things that are happening. Yeah,
Sure. Restart ADCS.
You have to restart the cert. So the one nice thing about ADCS is most of the time it doesn't require a reboot.
All right. So
that
looks like I don't
yep.
need that krill anymore. But if I go to the root of the file system,
it won't be there because you have to hit OK here.
Oh, right, because I have to hit publish.
Yes, you have to publish. New krill.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, I am learning.
So now if you double click into that,
this will look right.
Scroll down.
Yeah.
Yep. So notice there's also some cool things. Only contains user certs is no. Only contains CA certs is no. And it's indirect krill no.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that means everything should be there.
I like it. So
now that has to get to your so if you go to PKI demo.krill or at krill.
Mm-hmm.
Not your krill one.
Yeah. See. Nope, that's not a host name. Stop. It's because I didn't call it a CA because it wasn't one.
So like I said, personally, I have a PowerShell script that picks them up from all the, I have a shared folder on the root system right underneath C that just basically grabs all my krills and all my delta lists and dump them in there.
Why can't I get there?
Is it running?
Yes. It's right here.
Is C shared?
I mean, it's set up the way that servers are set up, and I'm the domain admin. I should be able to get to whatever I want.
Unless it's not on the oh, it is on the domain.
It damn well better be.
Watch it have the wrong name or not be in DNS.
I made sure that it was. Yeah, there it is.
I have no clue.
What the
PKI demo dash krill. That's how it's spelled, right?
Sure is. I mean, hold on.
An anonymous cheerer gave you a bit.
Thank you, anonymous cheerer. Yeah, it does not want to get there at all. Fine. Network discovery is turned off. I don't really care about that. It's weird.
Watch the thing be on a different network somehow.
I don't think that's possible. I mean, we're part of the domain, and I'm signed in with domain creds. Uh-oh.
What?
Actually, no, that is correct. There are no other users. I was like, that list is too short. No, that's actually correct. That is all we have right now.
I was like, what's the problem? Am I missing?
No, that looks good. So, what the hell? Okay, whatever. I'll tell you what. Can I get to it from here? Like, can I access it from the...
Going the other way, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Yep.
What? Why?
It's either DNS or firewall. DNS or firewall, calling it now. But actually...
It's the same server template.
Getting to this by DNS is a hard requirement because if not, the krill won't work. So does the ping resolve? Like, does the name resolution happen on your CA?
So from here, if I ping PKI demo CRL. Oh, wild.
Is that not correct?
I mean, the IP address is correct, at least as far as I know. Yeah, 178. That's correct.
So is the wild that pinging's not happening?
I guess that's not that wild now that I think about it. Because by default, that ICMP will be disabled. Firewall.
Yeah.
Hey, gyros or heroes, if we're eating sandwiches. Okay, so that's bizarre, but whatever. So, I have this thing. I grabbed it.
So you're going to want to put it exactly where... So that's not where you put it.
No?
No, because remember,
hosting it on
the
HTTP.
krill... Yes, but the krill, you gave it a full... Yeah, so finish setting up ADDCS first.
Okay,
because
let me put it in the downloads and then we'll place it in the right spot. Okay.
Because now if you go to... Yep, let's configure this.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna...
Nope, same credentials. Because you need to be enterprise for this.
Uh-huh.
Online responder and web enrollment.
Okay.
Next. So the CA that you're going to do web enrollment through, target CA, is going to be your intermediate. See if it lets you select it.
Yes, it does.
Yep. Because that's the only it's the only enterprise one. Your root should not be selectable. Next.
I'm just glad that it found it. So, question. This is about trust relationships between machines or also users. So, both, but by means of certificates that we issue to either one. Okay.
Figure.
Configuration.
So more about. So click the more about OCSP configuration. Ask me later or whatever. So your online responder should be at a place where you can reach that URL to pull that krill via HTTP.
Yeah.
So if your folder is there, right? Because what's the folder we set it up to? Cert serve, cert enroll?
Yeah.
So you can copy it there, but now you have to set up IIS to be able to fetch it from there based off the URL.
If I create subdirectories inside of inetpub that match that path, will that not just work?
That would.
Yeah. Okay.
All you care about is when someone types in HTTP, whatever you just put in the krill, the file comes back.
Right. So, let's confirm this here. So if I look at this thing, okay, so it's certain role. That's the folder I need to make.
Yes.
Is cert and role. Okay. So in my dub root, certain role. Okay. I will move it, not copy it. Dope. Okay.
So now we just got to test it to make sure that we hit that krill from here and it works.
Okay. So PKI demo crl.pki demo.local /cert enroll, and then that whole rest of the dang file name, which is horrifying. .curl. Well, crap.
Yes. So that means IIS is not configured for this.
Okay. Well,
you know, I said this was going to take half hour to an hour. I was wrong.
I believe I told you that it would not.
You were correct. Here it is.
The default website should be like...
You have to click Add Virtual Directory. Certain role. Physical path.
No reason to keep it in inetpub, but I guess there's no reason not to.
You should. So I keep it in just some place where it's easy to have PowerShell dump it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's some public folder somewhere.
Let's try this for now.
There's a virtual directory already exists.
See? That's so fast.
Can you click Explore?
Hold on a second. Let me check something out real quick. Certain role does exist.
Oh, but you're getting access is denied.
Well, for directory browsing.
Can you enable directory browsing?
Hold on. God, what? What?
Did we copy the correct file?
We definitely. I mean, yeah, we definitely did.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay, so it's a krill.
yeah.
Just making sure.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Husky.
Husky's here? Hi.
I think he's about to pass out. He's had a long
Well-
couple days.
I mean, I hope he doesn't pass out on the tarmac. That sounds safe, but then shortly afterwards, yes.
So if in IIS, if we enable, there we go. Enable. Thank you. Boy, this interface also not
Yes.
been updated in some time. So now if we go to cert enroll, it has a what? What?
Click it, see what happens.
What is this?
Oh.
There's what? There's no ASP. Like, oh wait, hold on, because it thinks IIS is being IIS is what's happening. Okay, so you are correct. We're gonna get that thing the hell out of there, and we're gonna take this entire cert enroll folder and put it someplace else.
Patrick, star it.
I'm just gonna toss it right here on C, and then we'll go back to IIS and add the virtual, as you were saying, which is, I think, nope. Yeah, see, remove this. Yeah, this is the problem.
You need those.
Okay, we need those. right.
OCSP actually should be already set up.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Yeah.
That's your stapling.
Right.
So if you click that, that's already set up everything you have to do. Right? Okay. So go to click,
wait. Are you saying use this for the krill?
Yes. So
Okay.
click that, properties it. Or I guess
What do you want to do?
Click browse on port 80 right there. I just want to see where it goes. It opened up Internet Explorer.
It sure did. We got a 500.
So it's going to OCSP.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to cert enroll.
Right.
So we can either change the krill.
No, let's just add a virtual directory, as you were saying. So we're going to do cert enroll, and the physical path will be C, cert enroll like that. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to allow directory browsing because for now. Okay, it's enabled. Much better. Phenomenal.
And that's what it should look like.
Yeah. Okay.
So now, here's what we're going to have to do. So the proper way to do this would be to revoke your intermediate certificate and reissue it.
Uh-huh.
But to save time, since we have to regenerate the krill and move it all over, delete it.
Okay. So we have
this.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, but don't delete certificates unless you absolutely know what you're doing.
Okay. So what we have right now, though, is we have a couple of things that we've learned. One, in order to stand up an intermediate certificate authority, you must be an enterprise admin. That's important. Also, before you set up your intermediate, you want to make sure that basically that a certificate revocation list is accessible to the intermediate CA so that the service can start appropriately without any weird hacks.
Yes.
Okay.
So go to your root, open up cert, And then under issue certificates, we're just going to delete it.
We're going to blow it away? Or revoke
We have
it?
to. So if you revoke it, you have to redo the krill, which is fine.
Okay. But I can't.
But we're
Can
just-
I just press delete? Delete doesn't appear to be an option.
All right, then yeah, we're going to have to revoke it.
Okay. So we revoke the certificate.
Cease of operation.
Cease of
The best I
operation.
can think. So the reason code doesn't matter. It's just what appears in the log of why you revoke
Yeah.
this.
Okay, so then now that's in revoked certificates, right? And
Yep.
we gotta publish it. Republish
Yep.
the krill, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then this
New
is where
krill.
you were saying you have a script to move it from one place to the next.
Yes.
Okay.
Because now you have to physically go update that krill.
Cool. That's a fun thing to do.
Which is why I have a PowerShell script that like everything's in a public folder. It just reaches out to all the folders and smashes the krills in.
Mm-hmm.
And also so I have my krills spin up automatically because they're Linux, not Windows. It just, as it spins up, part of the build chain process is to just go grab the krill.
I see. Well, that does make a lot of sense.
I know some person had it on Git for a while, their krill on Git. So whenever their server spun up, it would just Git pull
Oh, I like
whatever
it.
latest krill is. Yeah. Because I mean, krills aren't like, they're public by design,
Mhm.
right? They have to be public.
Right.
So who cares if it's on Git or whatever? Now, if you had pull requests enabled and someone merges their krill into your, that's when you have a problem.
Well, yeah, don't automatically accept pull requests. That's probably just generally good advice. Okay, so we have the new. Let me see if I can get there. Okay, we've revoked the certificate, which means we need to create a new signing request from the intermediate to get a new cert signed by the root.
Yes.
Okay.
And when it happens, we have to verify that the krill is the correct krill from the root. But before you do it, right, let's right click your PKI demo int.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, the revoked section.
Yes.
Properties. Now, this one is going to be for your, go back.
Hmm.
This one for your publication interval should be as often as you think you're going to be revoking certificates.
I see.
So if it's not a very common thing, a week or two,
Mhm.
right? If it's like, hey, we're automatically bringing up websites and bringing them down, I would say 2 or 3 days.
I see.
Going below that isn't a good idea because also you have this concept of delta krills. And a delta krill basically is just what has changed since the last major krill.
Okay, perfect. Just responding to Husky's pun here.
Oh, no. My wife is super into marine biology. I have so many of those puns she's told me. I'm just not going to engage.
I mean, I've never heard someone say CRL out loud before you. So here's an actual question. Do these values also go into the krill as a validity period, or is that a separate setting?
No, that goes into the krill. Just like a cert tells you when it's valid and when it goes bad, the krill does as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So a week and a day, I think, is fine-ish
Okay.
for this.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, let's encrypt, that thing's daily. Let's
Sure.
be honest, right?
Yeah. It would have to
But
be. If not,
Yeah.
like 12 hours or something.
well, no, because remember, when a cert expires, it doesn't go on the revocation.
No, but the reason I'm saying it's that frequent for Let's Encrypt is the number of times people screw up and re-request certs for the same domain time and again.
Yes, that would be a revoke. Not necessarily though, but yes, it could be a revoke because it could just be saying, well, you came at me with the same private key. Not too sure how they do it. I believe Let's Encrypt's open source, so I can dig through to. I haven't done it yet.
I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, not to brag, but I've screwed up using Let's Encrypt a lot. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that as soon as I re-request a new cert with the same domain, they are insta-revoking the old cert that was issued.
They could be. I'm not denying it. I'm just saying that if I was designing it, if you came at me with the same private key for the same domain, I might just say it's the same cert. Here you go. But that is a business decision, right? That doesn't have a whole lot of impact on security tech.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so we can click OK here.
Yep.
Okay.
And then go back to PKI demo, properties.
Submit new request.
Nope. Properties. Extensions. We need to fix this first.
Right. So we're going to put this thing's krill on the same server, right? Just with a different file name?
Yes.
Okay. So I think I understand this now. So we're going to blow these away.
I would leave that top one.
Oh. Okay. Blow
But
these
I
others
would-
away?
Yes.
That's interesting. So we kind of glossed over this, but it's publishing it to LDAP, but we don't want to do that?
We don't want it to publish in the krill.
We don't want to publish it in the... This is from which users going to pay taint. So, like, we're basically... we're not creating a...
Let me rephrase this. Yes, you can. You can leave it in LDAP, but that means anyone who does not have access to your LDAP, it will not work because they can't hit it. So if this is internal only, leave it. But the moment it's not internal and they can't hit your LDAP, then yes, that's where you'll have issues.
I see.
So I would leave it just to get this working for this because this is internal API.
Okay.
But everything else has to go.
Okay. Got it.
So yep, that's publishing the krill location, publishing everything. Yep. Hit add.
Okay, so sort of the same deal, right?
Yep.
We're gonna do PKI demo, trl.pki demo.local /cert enroll, and then CA name, krill name suffix, delta krill allowed dot krill.
Yep.
Husky says, listening to you guys talk about PKI while walking through the airport is strangely comforting. I'm sure that the vaporwave is helping, Husky. The airport doesn't have enough of it on its own. Okay.
That looks good.
And then
Yep.
include in the CD. Yes, include the CDP extension of issued certificates? Yes.
Yes.
And then yes, me if we care about it.
Yes.
Okay. Apply.
Because if you click the select, hit yes. If you click the select extension right there, where it says CRL distribution point, you also have the authority information access. So you've probably seen AIAs, on like DNS servers, right? Like you have an authoritative zone and a non-authoritative zone.
Okay.
This is sort of the exact same concept. It's basically who actually owns the certificate.
I see.
Because just because you hit one CA doesn't mean that CA issued the certificate, right? It could be somewhere else. So where's the actual issuing authority?
Right.
But
okay.
The logic behind that one is don't touch it unless Microsoft tells you to.
Okay. Got you. So, okay. So now we...
Right. You have to
publish this thing, right?
not yet.
No?
We have to go get a new cert now because we
Oh,
revoked this
right.
one.
We do need to do that. Okay, so submit new request.
Normally you stop service first.
That would make sense. Sure. It stopped.
Yep.
Submit new request.
Submit new request. Request file.
Why is it? Yeah.
No, so go to all files.
It is in all files.
Request file.
Oh,
request files.
Yeah.
Just type in whatever request name you want.
Open. It says open request.
Oh, wait. That is you signing a request for this to sign. Renew CA certificate is what we need.
Okay, that makes more sense. So
Sorry. Yeah.
you need to do a certificate for your CA when you screw up. Do you want to generate new public and private key pair? No, right? The keys are fine.
You can. We haven't used it yet, but you can.
Okay. I'm going to say no, because...
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, can I do this? Just an online CA. So can I do PKI demo?
No, because it's not enterprise.
God. Okay.
If you want to send the request to an offline CA, click cancel and send the request file to your parent. So your request file...
And it's saved at C, if I recall.
I believe so.
Yeah. Yes, it did. I was like, that makes sense, because this was like... Okay, so that was the old... That was the old...
Yep.
I keep on saying CSR, because that's what it is when you do it in the Nix world. But it's a .rec in Windows.
Same, but different.
Yeah, okay. Was it one plain text, one binary?
Let's open it in Notepad and see what happens. I actually don't even know.
2 KB. No, it is plain text. It's the exact same. It's just a CSR.
Yep. It's just Windows being Windows. Or Microsoft being Microsoft.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Fine. So we take this. We're going to toss this onto PKI demo, CA, root, C, users, yes, downloads. Blow this one away. Yes. Here should use CSR. Still getting the extension wrong. I've done so many of the... Okay, so...
It's a CSR.
Yeah, so... Okay, so from the root now, we're going to do submit new request.
Yep.
Go grab this thing from where we dropped it.
Yep. So now it's going to be pending.
Right. Request ID 3.
Yep.
And then we...
Issue.
Yes.
Now it should be underneath issued certificates.
Yes. And then this is where we export binary data.
Yep. Binary certificate.
Binary certificate. Save binary data to a file. And we put this here. Yes, I want to replace it. Okay. Back over here.
I don't know where you put it. It wasn't downloads. Was it?
Yeah, it was. Oh, wait. No, it was in my downloads.
It keeps going to the root one when you do that. That's interesting.
That's... Uh-oh. There we go. 7:14 p.m. This is us.
Yep.
Okay.
So double click. All you have to do is double click it, to be honest.
Yeah, because it'll start the install. Local machine?
Local machine.
Yeah.
Yep.
I never like doing the automatic.
Nope, never goes to the right spot.
Yep. Okay. And this should be personal?
Yep. Finish. Now you should be able to go start the service.
Do we not have to put the new curl or krill in the
You can't do that. You haven't generated it yet.
Oh, you're right. I
because-
was one step ahead. Yes. Okay. So start the service.
Oh, actually, hold on. Before you
Too
start
late.
it, can you do me a favor? Can you stop it again?
Sure.
Remember that PowerShell script you ran or command you ran from that website?
I do.
They have the other commands to stop, like going directly there or
Okay.
ignoring your the krill flags.
Okay. Was it minus rev check ignore offline?
Yes.
Hey.
How'd you guess?
Ah.
So now start the service again.
Okay.
And we did everything correctly. This should work magically.
Oh, that word. No.
All right, can you check the cert to see what the krill is or where the krill's at?
Yeah. PKI demo is still. Wait, hold on a second. Let me refresh
Hold on.
this. So interestingly, there are two now.
Yes, you have to nuke the old one.
Okay. So goodbye.
Is that the old one? You know what? Nuke them both.
Okay. And then re-add the new one.
And then reinstall it. Remember what I said? That Windows isn't smart enough to choose the correct cert. It just
Yeah.
grabs whatever random one it thinks you want.
Okay, local machine. Choose personal. Next. Finish. Cool. Now. Aha.
That's the right one.
So that's correct.
Yep. So now we should be able to start the service.
Mm-mm.
Can you get from here? Can you go to that website and see if it works?
Yeah.
And you can click the krill and it pulls.
Yeah.
I'm about to flip this table. Says because everything should be working.
I mean, well, let's make sure I didn't do something like put a typo in the
So there's other things that we can do.
PKI demo local / cert enroll / PKI demo. Yeah, I mean everything else was the same. Right? Yeah. That's absolutely correct. Like, if I copy this value straight up and I go into...
Hold on.
Actually,
Yes. So
forget this. Let me just use PowerShell. I've got it open, right? Works fine. Get a 200.
So it's saying that it can't reach the krill.
Is it? Let's make sure we're reading the error message carefully here. Was unable to check revocation because the revocation server was offline. Yeah. I mean, we know we got it right. What is happening? And for sure, this is supposed to be impersonal, right? It's not supposed to be anywhere else.
No, it's supposed to be impersonal.
Okay.
Oh, there's one step that we forgot.
What's that?
I need you to go to the root CA.
Okay.
We actually hold on. We already copied the root CA cert over to our intermediate, correct?
Yes, we did.
Can you go back? Can you go back to our intermediate?
Mm-hmm.
Hit okay on this?
Yeah, here it
bring up
is.
the cert?
Here it is, by the way.
Yeah. Can you go to our local search store?
Uh-huh.
This is the machine one, right? Yep. Can you go to trusted root?
Yeah.
Is it in here?
There are two.
There shouldn't be two.
Okay.
So let's delete them both.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I know what I'm doing. I don't, but
And reinstall it. Local machine.
trusted root certs, right?
Yep. Next.
Okay. Oh, it says this CA root cert is not trusted.
Yeah. To enable trust, yes. So now if you double click it,
Oh, right. Okay, so now, all right, refresh.
there's a refresh button up top.
There
was.
There is not.
No, so when you select a certificate, there is not. But just click the certificate folder on the left-hand side.
Ah.
There it is.
Pick a thing. Okay. So.
It should be trusted now.
Okay.
Click key usage. Yeah. There's just linear certificate signing, offline curl signing. Yep.
Okay. So do you think that was the issue?
It could be. It couldn't hurt.
Okay. So we'll try to restart the service now. No.
Hold on? Can you open up that certificate that we just installed?
Yeah.
Scroll down. Scroll up.
It does not
Where
have
is the
it doesn't have it.
certification path? Up top right.
So yeah.
Okay, yep, that's fine. And underneath details, it doesn't have the krill location?
It does not. Now, we may have created this cert before we set up the krills correctly.
That's what I was wondering.
Happy to blow it away and create it again.
Sure.
Okay. So, take this out.
Because that's the only thing I can think of.
Okay. So, because we go to here, right? We export it here. All tasks, export. Right. This is what we did before. No, do not export the private key. We're gonna do dir, same as we did before.
Wait, can you get cancel?
Sure.
Okay, cancel. Yeah, go back, redo that. No. Can you open up the other cert real quick instead of doing this?
The the intermediate
Yeah,
cert?
correct.
Sure.
Right click. Certification path. That one right there. View certificate.
Details. It also does not have.
Yeah. Click and go to general. Issued by, yeah, issue to, valid from. Hit OK. Just reinstall this one and see if it drops your root cert back in there.
Just
it should
reinstall this one. Well, let me blow away what I have, right? So I have to take it out first.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just reinstall this. Wait, hold on. That's probably where the second one came from, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
then I want to take that out as well. Do I not?
we already did.
No, we didn't.
I thought you did.
No, not on the intermediate. Or no, not since the last time we tried this. So I'm going to install this.
Yep. It should install both because it has it in the chain.
Local machine. Send it to personal. Off you go. Okay. Now it's installed. Now, we refresh. Not so much.
But it's there.
Well, our intermediate cert is.
Yeah, our media is there.
The root is not. We still need
it
that.
Should have installed both, yeah. So I guess let's just go grab that one again.
Okay, so that's what we were doing. We're exporting this.
Yep. Your good old root.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
Someone's probably screaming at their computer right now, like, why won't the idiot just do this?
Well, they're more than welcome to comment and give us a helping hand. Local machine. Trusted cert root authorities.
Next. Finish. Can you go back to your Yep. You go back there and then look at Enterprise Trust, see if it's hiding out there too.
Mm-mm.
Yep, there it is.
Does this just not come with the...
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Well...
Click it, edit properties.
OCSP?
Yeah, it's not there. It's fine.
Okay.
Which a root cert shouldn't have krill because it's the root cert.
Right, exactly. Okay. Well, we've now...
And still...
The only thing that has made this work is the cert util command.
Yeah, because you're ignoring it. Can you go to your cert real quick?
The intermediate?
Yeah, the intermediate cert. It's the last thing we can check, and before we just call it and say it's not, the krill's not working. Details. Scroll.
This one has distribution points, which we... Oh, check this out.
Wait. That's file. That's not right.
That's interesting.
That's not right. So something didn't get done correctly here. Can you go back to your root?
Hold on a second. I'm trying to look at how this got made. PKI demo. First of all, I never did this. This was something that was added. Or it was like, this is a default. Because this is the one you told me not to get rid of, I think. Because I did not put in a UNC path for anything. And
this is not the default one I said to keep in there, because this cert was not signed by your intermediate authority. This was signed by your root. So this got done by your root authority.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. But it was not something that I added.
It should have been because you added the HTTP. So if you go back to your root authority and go take a look at your krill. So go to properties on your root authority. So click your root authority cert serve. It's not going to be here yet.
Right.
Extensions. You publish the krills. You're not including it there. And then your HTTP, right?
Right. But this is the one that I added.
Which is correct.
But notice that it doesn't have certain role. Right?
Yeah,
because this one does, but it has the PKI demo krill.pki demo, which is not what we were seeing over here. Right? Look at this. First of all, UNC path. It's got 2 backslashes after the file, or 2 forward slashes, but whatever. Like, why? Then it's PKI demo CA root, which is wrong. That's not the URL, right? /certain role. I didn't make this.
Yeah. Correct. So it's either it got left over and like we didn't bounce the server, like restart the service when we changed it, or what have you. So hit OK. Go back to your root authority.
We got to blow this away, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Let's get rid of this.
So you shouldn't have to do anything different. So if you click your PKI demo CA root on here, no, leave that one there.
Yeah.
So go to your other server. Yep. Hit OK here.
Issued certificates.
Revoke that.
Well, let's see. I want to see what it says here.
No, that's correct.
What is happening? Why is it getting exported differently?
Hit OK. Did we export? Hold on. Can you click the binary certificate? Old certificate, public key parameters. Yeah, it should just be the binary certificate. Should be everything.
Can I suggest something crazy?
Yep, go for it.
Okay. Oh, never mind. They're even in the right order.
Yes.
I was like, I thought maybe it was picking up the file one first. It's not. Okay. So we go to export binary data. Binary certificate once more. Save binary data to a file. And this is the CA root. This is the root. This guy right here.
No, it's not.
That's the requester name. Boy, that's confusing. Okay. Right. That makes
hit.
Hold on. So I'm getting punchy.
Double click.
But
yeah, double click it real quick. Let's verify.
Issue 2. CA and CA, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And then this is int root. Now.
Let's save that as a normal file. It's fine. Do me a favor. Right click it. Open in Notepad.
It doesn't have.
Yeah, it does not. You didn't give it a file name.
Oh.
Or a file extension. You can if you want.
I do.
Yeah. Open in Notepad.
Oh. Can I just check this real quick?
Yeah.
See if we've lost our minds here. No, this one's good.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Okay. So now if we install this local machine, this time it's personal.
Did you delete the old one?
Yeah, we did that before we went over to the root.
Okay. So here's something to note. You only created this intermediate for a year. That's only valid for a year, which means you can't issue any certificate longer than a year.
Right.
And as the year goes on, right? 6 months, 3 months. Which is why your intermediates should be like 5-10 years.
Makes sense. Okay, so it
All
looks
right.
good.
Yes.
All right. Nobody breathe. Come on!
Okay. Let's hit OK. Let's verify. What cert is it trying to pull right now? Right click it. Properties. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Certificate manager. Okay.
Is this the problem?
You should be able to reach LDAP.
Yeah, but this one.
You should be able to reach your own cert serve.
Is there a krill there, though?
Yeah, it's when you publish a krill, it'll be there.
Okay.
Can you go to, let's see, enrollment agents shouldn't be available right now. Yeah, hit OK with all of this. This looks good. Or cancel, whatever. Can you right click again, see what options you have? All tasks. Install CA certificate.
Should be root, right? Or
No,
one?
no.
This
Yep, int root. Yep.
one. Okay.
Start. Thank you. Okay. Sure. Windows. Apparently, when we install it one way, it doesn't actually install. You have to click the install button.
Okay, that's good to know.
But now you have a 3/4 setup PKI environment. All that's left to do is open the expansion, the dropdown,
Mm-hmm.
and click certificate templates
Okay.
and build a template.
Rev Shell, thank you for the follow. Chaco1967, thank you for those follows. Build a template. Fun.
So this is what's going to automatically issue out once it hits, or once a request comes in that is on the domain that is of that user or of that type.
I see.
So like a computer is the biggest one that you should look at.
Right.
So properties, right? It's basic. It's like that. Double click it.
Same
So
deal.
you notice how you can't change any of that.
I do.
So hit OK. You want to go to action, I believe, or right click in the white space, whatever it is, to get a new one.
New certificate template to issue.
Yep. And you're going to select what the intended purpose is. So like smart card users in there, and exchange user.
Right.
So I think enrollment agent computer should be what's required for that.
Okay.
Double click it. And yeah, hit OK. So now go to right click the white space and hit new again. Certificate template to issue. Scroll down. I think you can right click one of these and edit it,
Oh,
or they took that feature out.
let's find out. New.
No, they took that out. So hit cancel. Right click, can click manage.
Windows
That's new.
cannot create the object identifier list. The specified domain either does not exist or cannot be contacted. Templates are not available. The what?
Your domain, I guess, is in there.
But it is.
Just click more actions. Connect to another writable domain controller. Okay, you're connected. That was weird.
Yeah.
It's connected now.
Okay.
Alt tab. Oh, that's why there's no templates for it. So it's set up. So what we could do now is try to issue out a certificate for your SecLab.
Oh, okay.
Or because this is a fully fledged PKI environment, feel free to start trying to break it. I know you only got 19 minutes for you.
I think we'll leave. Actually, one thing I do want to try is CA int cert serve. I don't know why I thought that was going to work. Demo CA int cert serve.
You're going to be doing internet stuff. You're going to be doing email. You really recommend if you're serious thinking about ISP.
Oh, that's wrong.
Digital phone service, and this is for people who are using.
I'm gonna yeet Edge.
I know how I feel.
Like, okay. PKI demo. Actually, this isn't an Edge thing. Brave does this as well.
I think it's a Chromium thing.
Yeah.
Trying to be helpful.
Okay, so there is no cert serve accessible. Oh wait, yeah, there it is. Hooray! Okay, that's what I wanted to see. Look at this beauty. You know what this? Okay, just total aside. You know what this reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of. God, I don't know if you'll know this. There's a library system used in every school in America called Follett Destiny. And similarly, like, if we search, let me not do that in the VM. If we do this in, that's not how you spell that. Follett Destiny. Like, we'll just get to some schools. Hey, cool. LAUSD.
I can see it. Yep.
Like, exactly the same. Oh, you can just look at somebody's library. That's cool. You usually do have to log in. But anyway, yes. Definitely of a specific point in time. Request a certificate. I would like to request a certificate. Create and submit a request to the CA. No templates found.
So yeah, that's the weird thing is you should have templates populated.
Are we waiting on a sync between the root and the intermediate? It's like... the root doesn't have templates, right?
No, the root does not. Can you do cert util space dash CA templates?
Yes. Util... what was it?
Dash CA templates.
Access is denied.
For administrator.
By M.
Yeah, I'm saying so. Access is denied for all of them.
Yeah. Got the admin token. Just a sanity check. Yeah. Access is denied. Okay. Is it because we set up the root with SecLab, the local account, and we used a different account for the intermediate?
No, that shouldn't do it because your root account should not be in the picture at all anymore.
Okay. And yet, access is denied.
Let's see. Uh, check for duplicates and or decommissioned AD cert serves.
I don't know what that means.
Sending to you on Discord. So because we just set up this brand new PKI, old certs for your domain are still floating around. And we'll have to go whack-a-mole them all out. No, so your domain, your top level domain.
Oh,
Configuration is correct,
configuration,
I believe.
and then DC.
Sorry, issuing server name. So yeah, it should be. Yeah, you need to leave the configuration in there, but yeah.
Okay.
You should have an out.txt file. No. Oh wow. Let's take a look.
What are we looking for? This
So
just
what
looks
we're
like an
looking-
LDIF file. It is just an LDIF file.
It is, but what we're looking for is like a web server exportable.
Should I be looking for specific strings here, like web server?
Web server exportable.
One word?
I believe it's 2 words.
The word exportable does not appear.
I'm trying to figure out why all the certs can't be found.
It's not that they can't be found, it's that there's access denied, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe this is a good puzzle to leave for another time. We have set up quite a bit here, right? We've set up the krill, we've set up an intermediate, templates we still need to work on, but I think, a lot of good stuff got done tonight in just a few hours.
I mean, you have a PKI environment that it can't issue certificates automatically, but it can still issue certificates.
Very cool.
So the last step would just be to back up your intermediate CA again to this.
Okay.
And then turn. What was that?
No, keep going.
And then turn this off and file it away, basically.
Right. Okay. That's neat. So obviously there are some gotchas, and when you're doing this in the Windows environment, there are some pretty specific steps that you should follow to make this happen. Is there any set of documentation that you trust for this kind of material?
That I trust. So the Windows documentation, Microsoft documentation works. The problem is it's ancient, right? So like for the best practices that it tells you of like, oh, use MD, key sizes of this size, don't. They haven't updated the documentation since Vista or 7 in a lot of cases, and really just use it for setup. Don't use it for configuration, if that makes sense.
Right. So you haven't come across any books that you would trust with newer information?
For Windows PKI,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
For PKI in general, yes.
Oh, really? Such as?
Yes. The Khan Academy has a great intro to PKI course
Huh.
that at the end of it, you can generate RSA certificates by hand. Like do all the math yourself and just here's a certificate.
Wow. All right, cool.
So I recommend that because you'll understand the math and all the stuff behind it. And all that's left then is just bang your head against Microsoft. But I mean, what else is new?
For sure. And we should mention that, in the not too distant future, there will be a course from you on the
Yes.
math about this.
Yes. So I'm hoping springtime. Right now I'm trying to move states and my whole life got flipped upside down. So once all that settles, I'm trying to focus and get it out by March, April timeframe.
All right. Yeah. That's exciting. Cool. Well, Ductape, thank you so much for hanging out tonight and getting a PKI set up. This was a lot of fun. It's always good to have somebody else to bounce ideas off of.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. You're always welcome back. And I learned so much tonight about how all this works. Oh, we have one last question. I have a code signing certificate in an HSM. Would like to use it from a service. Is there a way to do that?
I mean, it depends on the HSM and it also depends on what the authority is. Because saying you have the certificate in the HSM, that means like, is the private key there? Is it just saving the public key? Are you just saving the private key on behalf of a certificate authority somewhere? So without knowing more about your setup, the answer is probably. The HSM is a CCID USB device with a private key. Correct. So then you'll have some sort of intermediate authority, so to speak, you'll have an intermediate authority, or you'll have it as a private key, a personal private key is what I meant to say, that can do the issuing. So it's really going to be dependent on your hardware and what you're using it to interface with. The short answer with all that is yes, but it might involve a lot of low level and system programming that you may not have the stomach for. If you want a decently cheap network ASM, I know I am a Microsoft shill at this point, but Azure has a fairly robust key vault that for a couple of bucks will HSM back a private key that is fully API. You can call it however you want to call a REST call.
Whoa. So you can use Azure Key Vaults essentially as an ad hoc HSM?
Yeah, load up portal.azure.com real quick.
Hold, please.
Not your work one, just the personal one.
Yeah. Oh, no. This machine never sees work stuff.
So yeah, go to your key vault or a key vault.
I don't think I actually have any. Well, other than default ones, I don't think I've made any. Key vaults.
If you want to just create one real quick, you can delete it immediately.
Yeah.
Resource group, whatever. Key vault name, whatever. Underneath pricing tiers, when something's going to change.
Mm-hmm. Includes support for HSM
Right.
back keys. Okay.
Yep.
I'm okay leaving that there. I don't have to go make the thing. But okay, that's neat. So you can use it. That sounds like actually a pretty solid, cost-effective solution.
It's like 3 cents per 10,000 signatures or whatever. It's not terribly expensive.
No, it's not.
It can be depending on what you're signing, right, and all this stuff. But if you just want a quick key that's just hittable by the web and web APIs, I would just say, look, just go do Azure Key Vault. You'll probably end up spending $10, $15 a month. We have a 1 gig that we need to sign once a day with Sign. Look, you're going to be spending like $10 or $15 a day, or not a day, sorry, a month max to sign a 1 gig installer daily. And is having that CI/CD pipeline for that worth your $10 to $15 a month?
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, a parting gem then with Azure Key Vaults. That's cool, man. My head is spinning. I feel like I've learned so much about how all this works, and you know, the next time we do this, we'll also try to use some of the certified pre-owned attacks against this to see what a default setup is vulnerable to.
So fun to note, this is not a default setup.
Oh, right. Okay.
This is Microsoft best practice. A default setup is someone just creates a root CA, throws everything on the root CA, done it, we can go home.
I see. Right. Okay. So a Microsoft best practice, you know, quasi hardened environment. We'll take a crack at that. But for now, I just checked. There is nobody else streaming in English, at least for right now. So we're going to let everybody go on their merry way and have a great night or morning, whatever time it is for you. Ductape, thank you once again for hanging out. Had a blast. And then I'll be back on Saturday doing some blue team stuff. So until next time, friends, please be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and happy hacking. We'll see you next time.